With the Google Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, Google finally switched the camera sensor after using the prior one for 4 straight years, which is pretty crazy to think about. We have a new 50 megapixel main sensor, which is actually physically larger, and a new telephoto lens, which I've been waiting for the past few years. But without further ado, this is my review on the brand new Google Pixel 6 Pro camera, shot entirely on the Google Pixel 6 Pro. Let's get right into it. As usual with Pixel phones, the camera is one of the most important parts of these new models. Google has finally switched to a new camera sensor after using the prior one for 4 straight generations. Both phones have a 50 megapixel main sensor that is hard-coded to output 12.5 megapixel images. It's a much larger sensor than what Google's used to. It's considerably larger than what Google used before, physically larger than even the iPhone 13 Pro's new camera sensor. It comes with 1.2 micrometer pixels and is behind an f1.85 aperture, which is optically stabilized. They're saying it captures 150% more light than the Pixel 5's camera. Next to it is a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera with a 114-degree field of view. It is an f2.2 lens and just about as large as the other ones. This one is 1.25 micrometer pixels. The 50 megapixel main shooter is probably the main camera that you're going to be using the most. It was able to take high-res photos with good detail and true-to-life colors. It's an impressive point-and-shoot camera, and I found that it delivered great results in a variety of scenarios. Images from the main camera lens are stunning. They're vibrant, they're even packed with detail, and there's an amazing balance of exposure with bright skies kept under control and shadow areas being easily visible. Night sight, which enables you to get good pictures in dark settings, returns here. This is similar to the Google Pixel 5's ability to brighten darker scenes, but you'll need to keep the camera still for this to fully work. The ultra-wide camera comes with 12 megapixels and gives you 114-degree field of view for when you want to get more people in the shot, or you just simply want an ultra-wide shot. I honestly wish it was a little bit wider comparing it to the iPhone 13 Pro Max, but this will definitely get the job done for most people who are just looking to get a little bit more in the shot. The camera produces good results, but as expected, the image quality isn't as strong as the main sensor. Unless you specifically want wider shots, you'll be better off sticking with the main sensor for most of your pictures. The telephoto camera comes with 48 megapixels and is capable of 4x optical zoom, which is more than the iPhone 13 Pro Max's 3x zoom. And in testing, I found that it produces detailed images of distant subjects. Again, you'll need to keep the phone still for the best results, but that's honestly the case with all telephoto modes. If you need greater zoom range, there's also 20x digital zoom, but the image quality does dip pretty quickly when you use this. The phone's zoom feature aren't as high spec as some of the other top-end smartphones, but the Pixel 6 Pro's zoom features were suitable for most tasks you want the rear camera for. On the front of the phone, you'll find an 11.1 megapixel selfie camera with an f2.2 aperture. In my testing, I found that it gave me nice looking portrait shots, good picture quality for video calls, and natural skin tones in selfies. There's up to 4K video recording on the selfie camera, and it's suitable for shots you want to upload to social media and more. The only problem I encountered with the selfie camera is the shots taken in low light came with a lot of noise and were overall not the best quality. I've definitely seen better in the market. Sometimes you just want to add a little bit of blur to enhance the look of your photos. That's where action pan and long exposure modes come into play. Action plan is designed to highlight a moving subject in extra crisp detail while simultaneously blurring the area around them to enhance the sensor of movement. I tried some walking shots of myself and even some shots of moving vehicles, and the results were actually pretty good for the most part, but sometimes it did look a little bit unnatural. Long exposure flips the concept, and like Astra mode, it's meant to be used while on a tripod. The phone will capture a scene with long exposures, balancing out the still parts, usually a city street or the woods around a river, and blending motion together to create light trails or soft water effects. Both of these motion modes are impressive, not just because of their results, but because they're designed to be used freehand. That means you'll just be holding the phone, no tripod required. A huge upgrade from other phones that might offer similar features. One real notable software development here is called Real Tone, which is a default element of the camera, and Google says it enables the cameras to capture more natural looking skin tones in photos of people of color. Google has worked with several photographers to find ways of rendering darker skin tones more accurately. As a person of color, this definitely does a better job of exposing me in different areas, or if I have people with lighter skin tones in one image. Night sight is still around too, and it's better than ever. Like almost night vision like quality, which is pretty impressive, but sometimes it's not as realistic as your natural eyes. But if your camera is struggling in low light, night sight is a pretty great option. Magic Eraser is another big new software upgrade, which you can access through the gallery element on the app. It's designed to let you remove subjects that you don't want to be included in your photos. The Google Pixel 6 Pro does an excellent job in video and has marked improvements at nighttime thanks to the company's HDRnet algorithm. It can shoot up to 4K at up to 60 FPS and 1080p at up to 240 FPS. At times the videos can look janky and imperfect, but it's leaps and bounds above what the Pixel 5 once was. If you really want a Pixel phone for video, I'd wait to see if the company releases a software update before taking the plunge. It's fine and works well most of the time, but switching between zoom can be a little bit janky. The audio does seem to crackle a little bit sometimes, but overall it does sound pretty good. Pixels have long struggled in their video capabilities, but you'll be happy to hear they finally take great videos. In HDR, scenes alongside the iPhone 13 Pro often delivered richer colors and maintained shadows and highlights instead of brightening it all up. The iPhone still has better image stabilization, and the Pixel does sometimes have some quick quirks when it is processing, but the video quality is no longer a problem. These improvements are thanks to Tensor, which can now apply the imaging algorithms Google uses to enhance photos to each frame in a video. It's nothing short of impressive to see Google improving so much in a single generation. If you are someone who values the best quality video without having to adjust anything, the Pixel 6 Pro is actually a pretty good device for this. It's not the iPhone, but it's far better than what the Pixel 5 was. Overall, I'm seriously impressed with the photography abilities of the Pixel 6 Pro, and now there's no question that it's among the best cameras you can get on a phone right now. Video quality is excellent as well, with superb dynamic range, excellent image stabilization, and plenty of detail thanks to the 4K resolution. The Pixel 6 Pro camera truly holds up to its name. My name is Victor Kamanga. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye.